If I was to summarise my IT experience, I'd have to say I'm a computer geek in Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Access and back-end databases who works in business departments. So working in a data analyst department or a department does accountancy reporting and all of these sorts of departments. I've worked in a variety of different sectors, with about half my roles being in the finance sector and the other half being in a variety with the British government, the TV or the market research and all of these sorts of places. My working environment has always been in between IT and business. So the business department could be accountancy, could be scheduling, or it could be data processing, and they've needed a computer geek, such as myself, to be writing systems or processing data for them, writing all the code and so on and so forth. And so some of the time I've been actually situated in an IT department, employed by an IT department, and I just spend my time working with the business people in the business department. Other times I'm actually employed and situated in the business department with my salary coming out of the budget from the business department. And so with different companies it's always been a variety of where I'm technically situated, but I'm always halfway between IT and business. My core technologies have been Visual Basic with Access and Excel, as well as all of the database backends. Now, in terms of the technology which is not my core technology, then I've done a small amount of Outlook and PowerPoint where I'm writing VBA code behind the scenes, and also with Word as well. I've written Word macros, but then away from Microsoft I've also done the C++, Objective-C, C#, and lots of web stuff with all the PHP, and as well as doing Node.js with all the JavaScript and the CSS stuff and HTML, and so I do have a wide variety of different technologies, but my primary technologies are Microsoft Access, Microsoft Excel, and then connecting a database backend and writing all of the database code, the stored procedures, or just basic SQL, so that the Microsoft Office and Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Access and everything, they can actually store the data in a big database and have the power of the big database in just these small little applications. And yeah. A few times now I've tried to be self-employed and it hasn't really financially worked yet, so it's not so good, but it has brought a huge amount of variety to my work in terms of doing everything, because it's just me being self-employed as a one-man band, and it's very enjoyable, but it's different. A huge amount of the systems I write are GUI interfaces where there's a database backend, but there is also a large amount of systems where there is no GUI interface, there is no end user, it's just I have a large amount of data that has to be processed and analysed, or duplicates taken out, and so I do have that variety, and there are different skill sets. When you're processing data, then it's obviously optimizing how your code will actually go through the data, because for example if you remove duplicates and you've got 1 million records, then 1 million records has to be compared against itself, so that's 1 million against 1 million, so that's a huge amount of comparisons, and so that is a huge challenge. And the other side is when you've got a GUI interface and you're developing something like a scheduling system, and you have to understand scheduling, you have to talk to the scheduler, and you have to build up the understanding on how project managers and department managers do their job and what their requirements are, and understanding workflows of the projects, and all of these things all make it very interesting to actually build up the GUI interfaces and that. So both sides are interesting. And